What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA, and here to talk about the top 10 NBA players in the Orlando bubble for the NBA restart. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, and make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you have not done so already, guys, make sure you turn on the post notifications as well, and make sure to follow me on my social media links down below for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, guys. And also, make sure, if you have not grabbed my FST DFS course, that you do so, because now with the NBA season restarting, obviously we're going to have basketball and we're going to have daily fantasy sports start back up. And if you don't know what DFS, daily fantasy sports, are, you're going to want to check out that guide, folks. It's so fun. It's the best way to stay engaged and also play fantasy football. And instead of season long, it's daily. So again, go ahead and grab that guide down below. You're going to love it, and I'm going to start playing DFS when the NBA season restarts, and you should too. And if you want to learn how to and be successful at it, grab the guide link in the description. So with that being said, let's get started. So basically, I wanted to make this video because ESPN had come out and did it, and so did Bleacher Report. And you know what? I was like, I got to give my take on this as well, because we're talking about the top 10 players in this NBA Orlando restart. So we can't include anybody else. So we're not talking about players like Steph Curry, because the Warriors didn't qualify for this, okay? We can't include KD because he's not playing, okay? And both those guys would be on the top 10 list. They are top 10 players in the NBA, make no mistake about it. So you can't include them. It's only players that are playing and players that are part of those 22 teams that are in Orlando right now. So we'll start at number 10. And folks, this was by far the hardest position to decide, or I should say hardest number to decide at number 10, because there were so many guys on the cut, and it came down between three candidates for me, okay? Basically, it came down to Nikola Jokic, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler, okay? Those were the three players it came down to for me. I kind of went back and forth on, who the 10th best player is here. Again, Paul George, we've seen him take a team to the Eastern Conference Finals before, but he's a secondary star now. Jimmy Butler's been traded from a lot of teams because he's been a bit of a locker room issue, but he's one of the best two-way players. And Nikola Jokic, we know he's the best player on the Nuggets, one of the best passing big men. So ultimately, to me, I'll go with Nikola Jokic. I believe he had the best season between these three players. Again, you can make the argument maybe Jimmy Butler, but I will stick with Jokic for now. Okay, but it's very close, and if you want to make the argument for these two guys, I won't blame you. Okay, so Nikola Jokic is number 10, and let me actually just erase this and just put Jokic here so it's easier. Okay, so Jokic at number 10. Moving on to number 9, I have got Joel Embiid. To me, Embiid is the best big man in the NBA, the best center in the NBA. Jokic is number 2, by the way. So that's why I've got Embiid here. And Embiid, to me, he's got the potential to be much better. But again, right now, to me, the best center in the league, and certainly a top 10 player. So to me, this was pretty easy. Now, 7 and 8, this one was tough, because at number 8, I've got Luka Doncic, and at number 7, I've got Russell Westbrook. Well, here's my problem. Russell Westbrook, to me, did not have as good of a season as Luka Doncic. But if you're asking me right now who's the better player, probably want to maybe lean towards Russell Westbrook, just because, again, Luka Doncic does not play defense as well as Russell Westbrook, right? We're talking about overall, Luka, phenomenal shooter, way better shooter than Russ. Facilitator, playmaker, if you will. Russ is a better driver, rebounder. So, again, I just want Luka to keep improving. You can certainly make the argument, but I'm not ready right now to say that he's better than Russell Westbrook. Very close, but I'm not there yet. Okay, so that's why I went back and forth between these two. And again, I know Russell Westbrook is on the Rockets now, but again, folks, this man still averaged 3 seasons of triple-doubles. So again, got to give some props there. Moving on to number 6, and this one was pretty easy for me. I have Damian Lillard, one of the best point guards in the NBA, one of the best players in the NBA, and the Blazers obviously are going to go as far as Damian Lillard takes them. I believe he's catapulted pretty much every point guard in the league now besides Steph Curry, and you can make the argument maybe even Steph Curry, though I will still take a healthy Steph over Dame, but Damian Lillard at number 6. Let's move on to number 5, and I've got James Harden. Yes, James Harden. You might be surprised. You would have thought Harden would be higher, but you will see the guys I have above him and why. James Harden, obviously the best scorer in the NBA. I don't think that's debatable. If you want to say KD, maybe, but James Harden, I mean, right now, certainly in this group, he's the best scorer. We know that. And the only thing that hurts James Harden is two things: lack of defense and lack of postseason success. If those things come through for James Harden, I mean, he would be considered the best player in the NBA, but he's not. But this guy did win the MVP 2 years ago. So James Harden at number 5. Moving on to number 4, and this is where a lot of people might disagree. It might be controversial. I have Anthony Davis over James Harden. Now, you will see with the top 4, I have all guys that play both ends of the floor. Because, again, basketball is on both sides of the floor. You can't just play one side and be considered the best. You got to play both sides. And Anthony Davis, to me, he is one of the best two-way players. He's a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He could win Defensive Player of the Year. So AD had a phenomenal year with the Lakers. I know he's the secondary player on the Lakers, but that's only because LeBron James is on this team. Now, obviously, you know LeBron James is part of this top 3 right here. The point being is the edge that he gets over James Harden is because of the defensive side of the floor. Okay, let's move on to number 3. And I might get pushback on this, but I'll take it. I have Giannis. Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is going to win the MVP this year. He is my pick to win the MVP, and he will win the MVP. But again, that doesn't mean you're the best player in the world just because you won MVP. Charles Barkley won MVP in Michael Jordan's prime. So did Karl Malone. Doesn't mean they were the best player. Same thing with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I need Giannis to keep improving. The shooting needs to get better. The Raptors last year showed that if you just block off the lane, you can neutralize Giannis. So I need Giannis to keep improving, get rid of his weaknesses, and he'll absolutely become the best player if he does so. But right now, I can't give him that, okay? And I can't give him that over the 2 other players I have above him. At number 2, I got Kawhi Leonard. I mean, come on, folks. The best two-way player in the NBA. I mean, the best perimeter defender in the NBA. Led the Raptors to a championship. I mean, what can you say about Kawhi Leonard? This man is the best player on the Clippers, best player in the world, outside of one other guy who have above him, which is still LeBron James, folks. So, obviously, not that hard to guess. I hope that LeBron, to me, is still the best player in the world. I know some people think it's Kawhi. Some people think it's Giannis, folks. It's LeBron James. When LeBron James wants to be the best, he'll be the best. His focus is on winning. Believe me, LeBron could win the scoring title any year. He could win the MVP any year. But to him, it's all about winning. And he suffered a lot of statistical production because of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, takes a lot of the shoulder load off of LeBron James because of that. But make no mistake about it, at everybody's best here, between the 3, I'm taking LeBron James. He's the best player in the world. Over Kawhi Leonard, over Giannis. But there you have it. My top 10 players going into the Orlando bubble: LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, AD, Harden, Lillard, Westbrook, Luka, Embiid, and Nikola Jokic. Notable shout-outs to, obviously, Jimmy Butler and Paul George. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Let me know. Who do you agree or disagree with? Again, the Paul George, Jimmy Butler. I hate to leave them out, but I have to make the cuts. So let me know down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.